good afternoon, good evening, good morning, friends. If you're on the other side of the world, thank you so much for being here. My name is Anna Zugiri. If we haven't met yet, I'm just a basic girl with a little extra, and not because of me, but because the guest I'm bringing in. But thank you so much for being here. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments. I would love to send you some virtual popcorn. But if you're live, I would love for you to interact with us today. And I have, of course, let's go, Marcus. Thank you so much for being here, friend. I adore you. Thank you for your support. It's awesome that you're here. Thank you. Thank you. I have a great guest tonight. So I don't want to take a lot of the time, just rambling around, but I want to remind you the topic of this month. Remember that little word that we've been talking about, Avodah, a seamless life of work, worship, and service. It's a Hebrew word that my husband and I have been adopting, and just to share with those around us that there is no, go to Sunday for church and then you forget about it on Monday. It's a seamless life that you do everything work related. You have to integrate your faith in it to be fruitful and to give God the glory of all the things that you do. So tonight, we've been talking with my friends that I have been bringing in. We talk about networking, we talk about culture. Well, tonight we're going to talk about success, because my guest is a very successful woman and I absolutely adore. And I'm going to read you a little bit of her bio because this is great. Heidi is a highly accomplished real estate broker with an impressive 26 years track record of success. As a top producer in the area, Heidi has earned a reputation as an expert in her field. I have to tell you, she's been my realtor, and oh my gosh, I had an amazing experience with her. So just keep that in mind. Helping countless clients buy and sell properties with exceptional results. And she has also a blended family of 5 children. Two are graduates of Texas Tech School of Nursing, two are in college, and her youngest is in high school. In her free time, she enjoys spending time with her kids, traveling, flipping houses in the right opportunity presents, and working with nonprofits and churches. She is a real estate broker by day, wife and mom, and servant to the greatest man ever, Jesus Christ. So I absolutely love that. And without any further ado, I'm just gonna bring in my friend Heidi. Hey, Heidi, thank you
Hey
so
Anna, how are
much.
you?
I'm doing great. I have something for you.
Oh, I love it. It matched my shirt. That's awesome.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be my guest and being here. I am super super excited about the conversation that we're gonna have. So you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what is your superpower?
Oh goodness. So I think you kind of summed me up a little bit. I got my real estate license shortly after I graduated college. Actually, I'll back up. I went to college for interior design and architecture. I graduated. I was burnout, like really
Mm.
burnout. So I thought I'm going to take a few years off from design, and I went and waited tables, lived in Austin. And then I decided I have to grow up. Um,
Right.
ugh. I made my way back to Houston, and I got my first, I'm going to call it big girl job in the mortgage industry.
Mm.
And I spent a couple of years as a loan officer, somewhat
Oh
like your
my
husband.
goodness.
I know. And then I went to work for one of the largest home warranty companies. I was a home warranty account manager for, oh my gosh, maybe 4 or 5 years.
Mm.
And I then got my real estate license in 1997. And I dabbled in it some then, but then I actively jumped in both feet in 2001 and have been selling ever since. Um, my superpower, um, I mean, really, I don't know if it's mine, but I just really, when times get chaotic, which they do a lot, I just have to
Mhm.
just stop and be still and just thank God and put God
Mm.
back into what I'm doing. So it's him, it's not me.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
100% him. So any superpower that I may have, he gets all the glory.
Oh man. And it's great that you mentioned that. I didn't know actually that you had that background, and I think that it's super um, amazing that you have done all of those things to be able to be where you're at right now. Because I know a lot, you mentioned my husband does mortgages, and I've met so many real estate agents that had jumped from being a housewife to a real estate agent, or being in another career or skill, and they did just jump. So they know what they know, right? But you have that background that from the mortgage industry, the back end of the business, and then you got the front end of the business too. And I think that's one of the biggest things that have helped you to do this job so
I think
well.
it has helped. Even though I did mortgages so long ago, the terminology is still the same. And so when we're working not the easiest loans and the easiest deals, that mortgage hat still can come on, and I'm able to help collaborate with the loan officer, the lender, the buyer. And a lot of times, we can make a deal get to closing because, as you guys may know, I mean, not every deal is the same. In fact, zero
Right.
are the same. So
Right.
I think having, yeah, that background, it really has helped me in the longevity of the business.
Yes. Wow. So yeah, I love that. And like I mentioned before, you were a realtor when we bought this house,
Yes.
and we had such a great experience because you not only help us buy this house, but you also help us sell the other one. And I remember vividly because this was one of the best tips I've ever gotten. Uh, I'm an immigrant, so I moved a lot in my lifetime. My mom and I counted the times we moved in our lifetime, and we lost count at 28. 28 times
Oh,
we've moved. Okay. So I used to call myself an expert on packing stuff, right? I know how to move. But as far as the selling of the house, I remember you telling me, hey, you need to clean the spaces on the bottom of the closet so the closet looks bigger, and like little tips to attract our buyers, right? Like I was like, I need to sell this house like by tomorrow. And in dealing with other real estate agents, we never had that kind of tips, like preparing our house to sell. So I really, really appreciated that very, very
oh.
much.
Well,
So
you're welcome.
yeah.
And I appreciate that you guys trusted me. And I'm so happy that we still have a connection and we still talk and we're friends and
Yeah.
everything. So thank you for again trusting me in that process.
Oh, no, thank you. So you talk a little bit about your faith, and when it comes, like you mentioned, when we have those challenges, right?
Yeah.
Difficult times doing business. How do you integrate your faith in, not only in the hard moments, but in everything that you do as a broker?
Well, um, there's sometimes where you just feel like you're unraveling, and I have to just really stop and pause and breathe. You have to
Yeah.
breathe.
Yeah.
And, you know, throughout my whole life, and I still am guilty of it. And this is a daily struggle that I've really been working on really hard in the last, especially I'd say 5 years is um, I try to control, everything. I try to be on top of it. I want things to go like they need to go, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to go the way I want them to go until I just give it to God. And when I give it to God and just let it go and pray about it, things seem to fall into place. And I know that sounds so, I don't know. I mean, for people who may not understand that concept and everything, it's a life-changing concept,
Mm-hmm.
especially for I'm not gonna say I'm a control freak, but silently inside this little circus that's going on inside of me,
Mm-hmm.
I want everything done and I want it to be just so, and I want the timing to go just perfect so I
Yeah.
can make my clients happy. And when it's not doing that, the more I get like revved up and I try to control it all, it unravels. And
Mm-hmm.
so the more that I just stop, breathe, say a prayer, and give it to God, things really do start coming back together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. And I'm a firm believer in things are going to work out in the timing that they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And sometimes we lose a house that a buyer's devastated about. And it's like, oh gosh, but I know in my heart, if we trust the process,
Mm-hmm.
either that house is going to be there when the timing's right or God has something better. And I've never had one client over all of these years that have ever said, Heidi, you're wrong. Like, I lost that house. Because they always come back and say, you know what? You're right. Like, we ended up finding this house and
Mm-hmm.
it was the right timing. It felt
Yeah.
icky at the time. It felt really icky at the time.
Right.
But when it all worked out, so yeah, just really trusting in the process. Something else that's really been it's changed my trajectory in the last couple of years. I went through a program called Soulwell,
Mm-hmm.
and um, it's kind of a deep dive into. Actually, let me think of their mission tagline. It says something about are you exhausted? Are you burnout? Come to me. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to this retreat. I am totally burnout. I'm going to go get a massage. This sounds great. Have some Jesus music.
Right.
I didn't
Right.
know. But long story short is when I went through Soulwell, it really, it, it changed my life. I mean, it had
Mm-hmm.
me really just they give you like tools in your tool belt to help you with these stressful
Mm-hmm.
situations. And it just changed my perspective on a lot of things, whether it be my family, my faith, my work, how I was treating me and myself. I was just running 90 miles an hour
Yeah.
and just really not pausing. And I think that's just really been, I mean, no pun intended, but it's been a godsend to go through that and realize that as much as I don't want to let go, if I can
Yeah.
just let go, God's going to take care of it and
Right.
everything. So I'm trying to apply that in all aspects of my life, whether it be with my children, my work, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And, you know, because I think a lot of us have that idea of like, okay, a real estate agent is so much fun. You just go in houses and walk around and you show them and you get to see all these people and you get to see people getting their keys and it's just like all butterflies and roses.
Well,
And
that's
they're
how we post online is
right.
like the unicorn and the cotton candy. Woo!
Yes, and, because, my husband is as a mortgage banker, for the longest time since we got married, I'm like, I want to be a real estate agent. And like, I really let me, like not let me, but can you support me on doing this? And he's like, nope. Nope, I've seen it. I've seen it. And nope, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but it looks so fun. And he's like, yeah, you're trapped on weekends, and evenings. So there's a lot to compromise when you do this kind of job. And like I said, a lot of us think it's so much fun, and we see it easy. So what are the biggest uh, successes that you have gotten as a real estate agent in not compromising your family and those kind of things? Like, okay, why do you love, because evidently you love doing this, right? And let me say hi. We have Marcus here. He said hi to you.
Hi,
And
Marcus.
Chris Nooney's here,
Hey,
another
Chris.
producer here, and he's sharing a Bible verse. Yes, Matthew
Oh,
8, 11.
there
Yeah.
it is. That's what
Mhm.
drew me to so well. I'm sorry,
Yep,
my dog's
yep,
in here barking.
that's all good. So yeah, so tell us about what is it that you love the most about what you do, and what is it that not so much.
So probably the thing that I love the most is just seeing people at closing and going through the minefield, because everyone that buys a house, I don't care if it's your first purchase, your 10th purchase, it's exciting the day of contract, and the 30 days leading up to closing is stressful. And you're
Right.
up all night and you're waking up and you're sick to your stomach and all the things. So when I get people to closing and they have crossed the finish line and you can just see like that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's all worth it.
Mm.
And just or people are selling, a house and they're going on to their next chapter. Yeah, that makes it all worth it. And then the other question was the things I don't like?
Yeah, oh yeah, my least.
All the stuff I don't post on social media.
Right, right.
Mm.
Give us the reality of it.
Oh gosh, I don't. Do we have days? No.
Yeah.
There is. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that um, I feel that I shelter from my clients. My job
Mm,
is to make it as easy and as seamless as possible. So there are probably, on a single transaction, there's anywhere from 20 to maybe 35 people that may touch a transaction to get it to closing. So if one person falters in that and doesn't do their part, the whole thing can derail. So
mhm, mhm.
I've been
Yeah.
blessed to work with some really good people over the years. That I mean, they're just a well-oiled machine. But sometimes you can't control who you're working with.
Right.
There's a ton of emotions in our line of work, just because it's normally the biggest transaction that you're going to do in your lifetime at that moment.
Right.
So with that comes emotions that you normally don't feel. And
Mhm.
so I get to see like the good, the bad, and the ugly out of people. Um,
Oh my gosh. Hopefully you didn't get to see those from like
no,
my
y'all
husband
were
and I
great.
are
But
going at it.
I know when it happens with people, I just know I'm like,
Yeah.
this is stressful. I mean, if you look at the
Mhm.
top 10 stressors in life that,
Yeah.
go from a marriage to a divorce to a death in the family, buying a house, it's in there.
Yeah.
So it's very
Yeah.
stressful. So um yeah, that's kind of tough, and just trying to really um just I mean, my goal always is, no matter what, like, I want my people to be happy. They have to make the best decision for themselves. So if they start wavering, I'm not going to talk you into buying a house that you may hate or something. So that's where, it just comes in that again, just a lot of prayer, like, hey, God, if they're supposed to be doing this, let them do this. If not,
Right.
yeah, you're not going to see me arm wrestle someone to closing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I used to work with my husband, before when we just got married. And I remember having some clients at the closing table with the moving truck outside. Like it was
Oh,
happening right then and
yeah.
there. Like very, very stressful moments for some people. Mark is saying, I'm renting, but moving was very stressful. I know, right? Like the packing and also
Yes.
getting your family on board and doing all that. It's hard. So we have Ginger here. Thank you
Hi,
for
Ginger.
being here. And you solved
Oh,
her
yeah. Turn the freeze. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's your superpower.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's kind of like the US Post Office. I mean, it's like rain, hail, sleet, or snow. That's
Mhm.
when people want to see houses. If it's a holiday or if there is a natural disaster, it's like, hey, I think the eye of the hurricane has come through. Can you come show us the house? I'm like, okay, yes, we got 45 minutes.
Right. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, your disposition to help people, it's also, I think, a reflection of your faith because I also work with other realtors that are like, yeah, no. And it's even that vibe that I feel that it separates you from others, that
Oh,
we can tell that you have Jesus in your heart because of the way that you treat your clients. And I am sure I'm not the only one, especially here in the chat and our friends that are watching, that can testify to that because you do a great job on that. So let me ask you also on that matter, have you ever had the opportunity to share the gospel with your clients or your faith in some kind of way where you're like, okay, this is God is pulling me to do this right now with this person?
honestly, I would say it happens quite often. Um, and this is going to sound silly and trivial, but sometimes I can be at a door and the door's not opening and my key's not working, and I'm just going to say, instead of cussing, I'm like, come on, Jesus, like, let's get this open. And we get the door open, and then that kind of opens up the door
Mhm.
sometimes that we'll start having some conversations. I've had lots of clients over the years, like, just tell me that they felt comfortable in talking with me, that, you know, it's not like I was trying to shove anything down their throat, but
Mhm.
they, felt that, I was an easy person to talk to
Yeah,
about, like, my faith and everything. So yeah, like, I feel like I get a lot of opportunities
that's awesome.
to share. Um, and even, I mean, even just going, I used to do mission trips, and some of my clients came from the mission trips I went on. So it's kind of all like
Mm.
crossed
Uh-huh.
over.
Yeah, the
And
networking.
yeah,
Mhm.
and not even meaning to network. It's just
Right.
like you're like out
It
in
just happened.
Africa in the bush, and they're like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I sell houses." It's like, "Oh, okay." And then you hear back from them a couple years later. So
Yeah.
the paths do cross, but yeah, and even I mean, this is something I decided to do a few years ago. I'm actually looking at it right now on my desk. Is on my business card, I have the verse. It's from Romans 15:43, and it's like, "May the God of hope fill you with joy and peace."
Mm,
I mean, it's just like a little blurb on
yeah.
my business card, but I mean, that's just my heart. Like, I mean, no
Yeah.
matter where you're at in your faith, like, you can take
Mhm.
that verse and just, I want you to be filled with joy and peace, whatever that looks like.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so I do try to not intentionally, I mean, just because this is like just, I don't know, my trademark or whatever. I
Mhm.
mean, I just like always, whenever I get a new business card printed, like I try to find like, what's my verse of the year going to be, and
Mm. Mhm.
maybe that one, I mean, I have a lot of favorite verses, but that's one that I like to send
Yeah.
out like sometimes when I'm sending out business stuff because it's not too, like in
In
your
your face.
face. Yeah, and I feel like no matter what you are, like, you could take
Yeah.
that and I mean, it just seems like it's a very like, I really wish that on everybody, that the world could
Right.
have more of that.
Yes, yes, I love it. And I have to say, you have the best marketing strategies. And because I also get your bulletin or your um yeah, is it a
Is it like
magazine?
an email newsletter or
Yeah,
something?
I've gotten it in the newsletter and also in the mail, and you have the best recipes there.
Oh, in the magazine, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Like, the articles, I really sit down and read your magazine because I
Right.
love, looking at all those tips and, it feels like even if you were not my neighbor, if were not my friend, I will feel very connected with you. And sometimes I rip up the recipe and I put it on my binder where I have all my. I'm like, oh,
Awesome.
that looks so easy.
Okay,
Uh,
well, you're a good cook, so you have to tell me if you try any of those, if they were good.
Yes, I actually think I did a salad. I can't remember, like a chickpea salad or
Yeah,
something. So,
okay.
yeah, but so yeah, you're doing great things, and I think that because you are so vocal with your faith, that just comes back to you. And the root of the success, I believe, it's that, being genuine and just giving it to the Lord, and He will give back to you what you have put in. And you are such a clear example of that. And I'm just going to take a second to share this super quick story because we hadn't known each other for a long time, but my family and I were going on vacation, and I couldn't find anybody to take care of my dogs, and she and her family took care of our dogs. And there was an unfortunate event that happened while we were gone. Our Max, our dog of 16 years, like, he got sick overnight because when we left him, I mean, we knew he was, kind of acting a little weird, but we didn't think it was that bad. So he died, yeah, pretty much in Heidi's hands.
Oh, I
Right.
know.
And
Broke my
she
heart.
took
Oh,
care of everything because we were still a week out or 2 weeks out before we could come back home. She took care of everything. Like, I mean, I don't think I could have handled the situation as well as you guys did. So I'm
oh,
forever ever grateful that yeah,
oh,
you do that. You did that for us. So
thank you. That was an unfortunate situation, but
yeah.
I'm glad that you still talk to me after that
Yeah, oh
situation.
my gosh. No, I'm glad that you still talk to me because, like, "Anna, you left me with this."
Well, and like you said, it was unexpected. I mean, who knew? Who knew?
Right, right,
And it's like
right.
the first, I mean, I don't know. He was fine the first week, and then I
Yeah,
mean, there were some signs, but then, yeah. So
yeah,
poor little
yeah,
Max. Oh,
yeah, but
and then
he was.
Benny was sad after that.
Yes,
Oh, and
so now.
Benny's doing good now, right?
Oh, he's doing great, but we cannot take a suitcase. He sees a suitcase and he starts freaking out. So, in the
Oh,
last couple of vacations, we have taken him with us. And I
okay.
think that's going to keep going. Unless, I keep begging my husband to go to Los Cabos, and I'm like, oh, we can't take Benny to Los Cabos.
You can. They put him in the bottom of the plane, and then you hear him barking the whole way.
Oh my gosh, yes, no. So, I don't know. Lauren is moving back to Texas, hopefully sometime soon. So
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
yes, we're gonna milk that cow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's
Yes.
exciting.
Thank you, thank you. Well, friends, the time flies when you're having fun. And Heidi, thank you so much for being here and sharing your faith and your work and how you do things. I just love it. But before we go, we have like 2 more seconds. That's right. She doesn't know a Ginger, but she has been signed up to babysit. Yeah, house sitter. Yeah. So, anywho, usually I have. Let me do this. Some rapid fire questions to say goodbye
Oh,
to us.
oh gosh.
Or
Okay.
yes, are you up for it? Well, even if you're not, here they
Okay,
come.
here they come, regardless.
Yes,
All right.
yes. Um, That's right, Ginger. Well, you would think, but sometimes I'm like, "Did you watch my video?" And she's like, "No, I forgot." And I'm like, "Fine, you're not my target audience." So, but yeah, she might be watching this one. Okay, so I'm gonna spin the wheel. And
Okay.
friends in the chat, if you want to play with us, you want to answer these questions. I don't know, put yourself in Heidi's shoes and see what she might say. So here we go. Okay, if you were to invest in real estate solely for fun and not for profit, what type of property would you choose and why?
Oh, okay. So for fun, not for profit. Well, it would be on a beach for
Okay.
sure. Actually, maybe it would be in the jungle of Costa Rica that was like 10 minutes away from the beach.
Oh, wow.
And the
Yeah,
reason is zen and serenity and
I
peace.
bet.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was easy. Yeah.
Greece is a
Oh, and
beach.
Chris says a beachfront property in Caraca. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. You want nothing right there. Okay. Which of the two smells better, strawberries or a new car smell?
Oh, I like the new car smell. I like strawberries too, but new car smell would win.
I bought one of the little thingies that you hang
Yeah.
on a new car smell, and Emma's like, "Can you please take that out?
Is it
It
too
does
strong?
not smell like."
Oh.
What's the most memorable or quickly experience you have while house hunting or selling a property?
Okay, do you want like a bad or a good?
I don't know.
Crazy? Like I got them
Yeah,
all.
I know, right? You pick.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So this was a weird one. This was a long time ago. I was selling an estate property, and the seller, since it was his mom, he had already, mom had moved away or whatever, and or she had passed away. She didn't move away.
Mhm.
Anyways, so we were delayed on closing because they had to go through probate and everything. So about a week before closing, the seller called me and he said, "Hey, we want to go by mom's place, all the family, before we go to closing. We're going to come into town." I'm like, "Sure, it's y'all's house. Go by there." So 2 days before they're getting into town, I just drive past the house because I live by it, and there's two cars. I'm like,
Mhm.
"What's going on?" So I go knock on the door. The buyers had moved into their house.
No way. Are you
Yes
serious?
way. Oh my
What?
gosh. Yes. So the buyer's agent had allowed them to move in early. It was a nightmare. It was
Yeah.
just, I've had a lot of nightmare transactions, but that one was horrible because I had to call the seller and tell him and his family, like,
Yeah.
how do I
Hey.
tell you somebody's in your mom's house? And yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh. That is
Mhm.
crazy
Yeah, like they
story.
broke it. They moved in, like they were living there, like the whole thing. So
Wow.
yeah, the
Oh my
other
gosh.
agent, I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah, that was
Mm.
memorable.
Well, Noonie has a story too. Remember that one? I don't
Oh my
know.
gosh, yes, 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 yes. Does you want me to tell that real quick?
Yes, yes, because that was fun.
Okay, so actually, Chris, since you brought this up, and Anna, so this is a God thing. This is how God works.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I had Chris and his wife under contract to buy this house in High Meadow Ranch. It was beautiful. Outside needed to be painted. It looks like a Snicker bar, but that's irrelevant. But the inside was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So the morning of closing, we went over there to do a final walkthrough, and downstairs looks great. And we get halfway up the stairs, and when I say the cat pee smell blew you over, like it almost blew us off the stairs.
What?
It was like somebody locked a cat upstairs for a month, and they just peed everywhere.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So we start walking around the upstairs, and they had obviously tried to cover up the smell because there was
Mhm.
powder
Oh
on the
my god.
floor.
Mhm.
It was wretched.
Mm.
So we tried to negotiate with the seller to replace the carpet. He would not do it. Chris and Angie backed out of the contract. It was a God thing. That house was
Mhm.
not meant for them. They ended up in a much better house, much better neighborhood.
Mhm.
I mean, I think just God was just
Yeah.
he was trying to send some little
Mhm.
like yield signs, and we weren't taking them. Then he just had to throw up the full like spikes in the road. Like,
Yes.
yeah, that was a bad one. Oh,
Oh gosh, yes, I remember that,
yeah, the Snicker bar
yeah.
cat pee house. Woof.
Yes, some stories, and as a real estate agent, I'm pretty sure you also see some crazy things like color painting and crazy rooms. You've shared some on your Facebook and stuff. And they're so funny. I'm like, it's real.
Oh,
Like,
it's
who
real.
would
It's
do
real.
this? Who would do this? Well, thank you so much again, friend, for being here. If you guys want to check out Heidi's information, get a hold of her, you can visit her website. She's on all social media platforms, and all the links are also going to be in the show notes. And also, if you're here live, I strongly suggest that you share this stream with all your friends and family, if because everybody needs to buy a house at some point or sell a house at some
Yes,
point. So
absolutely.
you got the best right here. So I we would appreciate that. Any last thoughts, comments that you want to share with our friends?
Um, You know what? Actually, hang on just a second.
All right. Well, in the meantime, Marcus, that was fun. Marcus, thank you so much for staying up this late. He's in Switzerland,
Oh,
so
Marcus,
but
goodness, thank
yeah,
you.
so we appreciate you so much.
So, I just want to share two other of my like go-to Bible verses that I carry. I mean, I don't know. I carry around a lot of Bible verses, but
Hmm.
the two that I seem to go back to a whole lot is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope for a future. I think so many times we get just so stuck
Yeah.
where we feel like today is really our forever. And it really isn't. Like the sun is going to shine tomorrow. And wherever you're at right now, there are good things on the horizon. So I love that verse. And then another one that I really love. And these also they don't feel so heavy. Like
Right.
again, like I mentioned before, there's some like heavy ones in the Bible that are like, ugh, but
Mhm.
I feel like these are lighthearted and they can just go anywhere for anyone. I love the Beatitudes
Mhm.
in Matthew. And so Matthew 5:9 is blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God, because I got a little hippie in me and I love like the peace and all that. And yeah,
Right.
so yeah, I just wanted to share those. Those are ones that just kind of go around with me all the time.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing them. And yes, I mean, I strongly believe that to share your faith, I tell my friends, I'm not going to go all Christian ninja on you. Like, I'm not going to hit you with the
Why can't
Bible.
we go Christian Ninja? Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm just
So,
kidding.
yeah. But I think that also sharing our faith through our work, our service and worship, and just the relationships that we have around us, speak the word of God as well. And you speak it very loudly. So I appreciate you, friend. Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you for having me. I'm honored. I really am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Friends, again, don't forget to share, like, and we're on YouTube and we're on Facebook. You can go to Fate 52. And also, if you want to check out So Basic with a little extra podcast, Heidi's going to be featured next week. So don't forget to check that basic story there. But come back next Thursday, we have it's a new month, so we're gonna have a new topic to discuss. So just be here. I was gonna say be there or be square, but be here. I don't know a word that rhymes with that, but anyways, thank you so much. We'll see you next Thursday, and God bless you. Don't forget to love Jesus, obey Jesus, and tell everyone about Him. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.